All right, here with Capy Games is co-founder and president Nathan Vella. Nathan, great to see you.
Fellow Canadian.
That's right. We've actually had a lot of Canadians here today.
We're kind of owning the industry this
I know.
E3.
It's it's very impressive.
I feel very good about it.
Exactly. So yes, and we have Sour Patch Kids in Canada too.
Absolutely.
So, all right. You know, Capy, you've got such a great studio. You are a small indie studio up in Toronto. You guys focus on a couple key projects.
Absolutely.
And I've always admired sort of the quality with which you guys release your games. And you're getting close
absolutely.
To releasing a big game, which I know this has been a real passion project for you guys. How many years has it been on Below?
From inception, a lot longer than I'd like to say.
Yeah.
We started toying around with it back in like the 2008, 2009, and just a couple people spitting out an idea, and it became the game that it is, and we announced it at E3 2013.
Yeah.
And now it's E3 2016, and we're getting ready to put it out this summer.
It is really coming this summer?
It's really coming this summer, not for fake, I swear.
Well, this is a beautiful game, and I'm sure along the way there have been some rough patches in kind of bringing this to life, but you guys have stayed really devoted to making it happen. And I'm sure it's also, you know, it's sort of deceptively beautiful because there's so much depth, I think, to this game as well, right?
Yeah, it was a really tough project in the sense that we had this idea in the very beginning of making a small character in a huge world, and the game is really about those kind of like eternal conflicts of you know, life and death, of dark and light, and figuring out a way to make a game that had that in an art style that was totally unique and still felt like our studio. It took us a while. You know, it's a game that we really care about. We could have put it out a lot earlier if we didn't care so much about it. And you know, I know it's hard to wait for fans, and we've been getting a lot of messages on the Twitters and such about when is it going to come out, and people hoping that we'll announce a release date at E3. But it is coming this summer, and the summer's pretty darn soon. So we're really excited to get it out. We're really excited for people to play it because it's a game about player experience. It's about player exploration and them kind of finding their own way through a game that has no text and has no tutorials and you know, has a story, but it's there for them to find, not for us to tell them.
Yeah, no, it's what you guys do visually with every game is great, but as I mentioned, it's like there's always great gameplay in it, and the RPG aspects of this and the depth. I mean, people that are playing through this now, I'm sure in playtests, I mean, how long are they spending in this world? Because I feel like this is going to be total rabbit hole.
Yeah, we have to cut them off.
Yeah.
We can't have 6, 8, 10-hour play tests because that's just a lot of time. So we've been focusing a lot on trying to make sure that the core systems, because any good game inspired by roguelikes, inspired by procedural generation, they need to have these core systems, the core systems of survival, the core systems of how you deal with kind of the permanent death. And that's a big part of the game where there's not a lot of magic in the game, but you have a lantern, and that lantern is kind of the one piece of magic. And because you die and start fresh every time as a new character arriving at the island, we wanted to create this kind of systems that allowed you to pick up from where you left off in a way. So you can actually use your lantern on fire pits to create checkpoints, but they're single-use checkpoints. So you always have one chance to kind of get back to where you were before, one chance to kind of achieve those goals that you were trying to achieve. But there is so much permanence in the game that everything you achieve with a life stays achieved. So you're not starting from scratch every time. You're building upon the successes and failures of your past lives.
Wow. Well, it looks absolutely incredible. You already know that, and people are likely going to get to play it.
It feels a lot better when you say it. When I say it looks incredible, it sounds really cool.
No, but what you guys are doing with light and shadow and the environments, as you mentioned, the procedural generation. I think it's the other thing that people don't realize is that there's a lot of work, a lot of math that has to go into
yeah, there's a lot of programmer brain power going into that, but we're really happy with how it turned out, and we're really excited to get player feedback, to have people diving in and see how they play it, because you know, they could play it the way we think they will, but they could also totally break it in the most fun and amazing ways. That's one of the best parts about making games that are kind of about exploring the systems.
Yeah. Well, it looks incredible. Below, as you said, coming out this summer to which platform?
Steam and Xbox One.
Steam and Xbox One. All right, we will check it out. Nathan, congratulations. We can't wait to hear more about it. This segment of Meet the Makers was brought to you by Sour Patch Kids, sour, sweet, and gone. All right, now it's time for